How's it going, folks? Welcome to the Mainframe Magazine. Oh my God. Welcome to the Mainframe Multimedia channel, also on Rumble as well as YouTube. Bringing myself back after being gone for a little while, and this is just a little bit of kind of an explanation, a little bit of an explanation, a little bit of a preview, and a little bit of some fun also. So I'm trying to compact that into a little bit of time here as much as I can. But so let's get started with why for those who will watch this, who have watched videos from me and content from me before, why I left in the first place, why I stopped doing content in the first place. Main reason was because main reason was that I went and I wanted to go pro. I wanted to be able to do premium, have a better look, have more continuity when stuff moves, when I share screens and everything like that, to have it look less weird when people watch it from their end and everything like that. It's not like, and of course, not like I can't see it from my end, of course. So, it is what it is. But but then in the time of doing that, things happen, unforeseen situations, and you know, they take priority over setting up, more money to be paid out for platforms when I'm already paying for, you know, my Adobe, excuse me, my Creative Cloud from Adobe and everything like that. So it's just, things happen. It's a lot. And then recent events, of kind of the ending of something that I really enjoyed, Teehee TV, it just kind of, really kind of put me in a weird space because that was something that I enjoyed doing, had been doing for a while, and we were gaining traction. I liked everything that was happening, and the way we like to do things is the way sort of I like to do things. Those two guys that I hosted with like to do things the same way that I like to do them. We went live not because like in the day of the modern streamer, we were expecting live viewers to be there listening right there at that point. And we would put it out, we would promote it. But if people were willing to get up that early and listen to us review content, to review movies and TV shows and things like that, and preview things, cool. But if they watched it later on, that's the great thing. The thing with us going live was that we could go live and speak on what we wanted to speak on. We didn't need a script. We didn't need to pre-prepare what we were going to say. We just needed to make sure that if we had certain talking points, certain notes we wanted to make sure we covered when we convened and spoke about it, then of course we would do that. But a script that actually makes sure that we say exactly what we need to say, that's just not something that we like to do. So going live was just a natural thing for us. It wasn't to drive live viewers or subscriptions like we were doing that, but it was just to say, hey, we like to go live. We know what we want to say. We flow pretty well when we just kind of go off the cuff and say what it is that we want to say. So that was our goal, and it's my goal. That's why I like to go live, not because I totally come on live and expect to see, live viewers watching me at that point. What I hope for is that once I've done this and I've entertained and done the way that I need to do, when I put it out there in the areas in the communities that I put it out for people to watch, that they'll enjoy what they see. And I'll get views and likes and people wanting to connect with me to watch more of my content, afterwards. So that's the hope. And if time goes by and I can do live where people want to actually see me live at certain appropriate times and everything like that where they could catch me, hey, that's great. But I could definitely say that's something that kind of derailed me a little bit along with that. And it was easy to lean on. It was easy to lean on, yeah. I haven't gone premium yet. So when I have the money and the space to go premium, then I'll do that and I'll get back on. And I was just leaning on that and leaning on that, and no matter what, I just let it slip by. Just kind of feeling a certain way about that, feeling like I had to go. that I was gonna have to go back out here doing content, kind of fulfilling the dream that I want to do of being a creative and doing things a certain way. I kind of had to do it. I'm kind of have to go out on my own. But it's not such a bad thing. It's a tough thing, but it's not a completely bad thing. I think I have somebody along with me, possibly my creative, my creative peer Marley, that'll be doing other things. But like I said, I mean, otherwise, I gotta go with this thing on my own. And started getting messages on social media and everything like that. That hey, right now it may not be the greatest look, but you just got to start messy. You just got to do that. So that's what I'm doing now. And I decided I wasn't going to keep on just holding off and holding off until I could go pro, till I could do the premium. But once I do that, I will do that. Things will look better, crisper. I will be doing other things and connecting myself out in different ways. So this is just an initial, pre-launch and notice of, you know, I'm back out here doing content again for those who still care about me, those who still care about my content, those who hopefully will care about my content in the future. Hopefully they'll see this and they'll want to be a part of that. And by the way, thank you for the one person that's actually watching this live view. And so for example, so I did say I was going to do some previews. So let's talk about some previews if we could. Like one preview that I'm definitely going to be doing soon. And I may try to do a more sanitized version on YouTube, but I'm definitely going to do the full version, full out video evidence, visual aids, all of that you know what I'm saying? No worries. I'm going to be doing that on my Rumble, channel. And I'm going to be giving the true history of hip hop and rap music on that channel. That is going to start. That's going to be the beginning episode of musical manipulation. I'm going to show people how hip hop started in its own lane. And the lineage of hip hop is what includes those like Run DMC, those like Curtis Blow, LL Cool J, the Beastie Boys, Tribe Called Quest, on, and how rap music, their lineage, of course, starting with the Sugar Hill Gang, kind of moves on to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, kind of moves on to Puffy eventually, kind of moves on to DJ Khaled, and those of that ilk. You'll see how everything kind of moved parallel, which allowed the lines to blur and made people feel like it was all the same thing. Rap, hip hop, it's all the same. And things were kind of twisted, manipulated, escalated in ways to make it seem like this was all a part of the same entity. And it wasn't. And you see it when you even do your own homework before you even possibly watch this video if you choose to. Check out how many legends actually connect and correlate with each other. Like which ones, what types, who who really moves in the same circle and mentions certain people in a way that looks at them as an inspiration, a peer, things like that. You'll start to pick it up for yourself. Because once I started to look at it, I started to realize like, okay, you start to see there is circles that there's certain people run in that you don't see where you think, okay, well, they were all kind of coming around the same time. They might, because they made you feel like it was all hip hop, but it really wasn't. And it could be dangerous for some people who were real MCs, real writers, real DJs, real, what I'm saying, DJs were like the first hip hop producers because they were good enough with those two turntables, the mixers and everything like that to where they could create beats just on that right there, not having the equipment to really do actual production. And that, that is a great, so excuse me, without trying to give away too much, as I'm trying to hold back and not give away too much, but I do want to give a good enough preview to let you know that once you see how everything kind of paralleled, But then you wonder again, the same people who are a part of manipulating, using the industry in a certain way, using hip hop in a certain way, those are people who always gain interest. But it's not always the white, long-standing record labels. We'll find out that it was also black labels that were also very complicit in this very thing. So musical manipulation is coming up. That is going to be the very first episode of musical manipulation. There will be other episodes like, for example, there'll be other episodes like MC Hammer. MC Hammer, one of the biggest frauds I would consider in hip hop or rap. We will break down, we will unravel that manipulation to show you exactly why certain people get what they get, why certain people get the karma that they get because they are who they are and they bring that bad mojo back on themselves, honestly. And we'll unravel all of that. There'll be plenty different things, how people manipulate in the industry, on writing, on performing. It's just things like that, certain imagery. Just we will get through all of the musical manipulations and how they affect you, how they're relevant here today, because we're not going to go on old far off claims. We're going to show you, because even this first episode of hip hop, of what I'm saying, of the true story of hip hop and rap, you'll find out how this is prevalent even today. So we have musical manipulation. We also have conspiracy or theory. So conspiracy, theory. We're going to go after every single one. I'm still thinking on. Apologize, folks. Apologize. Apologize, folks. But excuse me. But apologize. But we're going to definitely. I still haven't quite decided on what the first one of that one that was the first episode of conspiracy theory is going to be. But what that is going to be is. By the way, let me go ahead and put that up if I could. And by the way, that's going to basically go after every conspiracy theory that may have legs, and we're going to determine whether it does have legs. If it does, it's going to go into conspiracy. It's going to go into the conspiracy pile. If it does not have legs, if it's something that just kind of seems like it's kind of wild, speculation or wild just imagination, we'll put it in theory. So we'll work it that way. And by the way, just want to make sure you see this as well. If I connected it right, let me see. And this is musical manipulation. I am Agent Stone, H Will, normally also known as H Will, as in H Will reacts, H Will win, so on and so forth. But basically, these are the imagery for my upcoming shows. So, and another one that we're going to have coming that I don't have imagery for that I am working on is I'm bringing back the, excuse me, I'm bringing back the Cooper Matrix, because I am telling you, excuse me one moment, because I am telling you, this book right here, let me just let you understand that this book right here is going to let you know everything that you need to know. Let me make sure I get it up here. Yes, this book right here, folks, Behold a Pale Horse. This is going to let you know what you need to know. This has always been letting you know what you need to know. Given, brought to you by the legend himself, William Cooper. Ugh, depth perception. Sorry. But anyway, this is fun too. But I'm going to be bringing that back, folks. Because I mean, you just need to understand what we're dealing with here. One of the most interesting parts here. It starts right at the beginning. This is chapter 1. Silent weapons for quiet wars. It speaks about how the use of nationalism, patriotism, war, and things like that. Let me pull off from under that. Sorry about that, folks. But but what silent weapons for quiet wars does, let me maybe pull down this gain a little bit, sorry. But what silent weapons for quiet wars does is that it speaks about how the system uses war, patriotism, nationalism to break up families, to destabilize the families, and things like that to thin the population. And we have, and we're dealing with a lot of that right now. I apologize if you are hearing some weirdness. Maybe, hopefully, this will make that better. And I was hoping, and once I once I come back from this intermission, because things have changed a little bit. Apologize. So basically, what we're dealing with is how it's right at the beginning how how it shows how he is showing and breaking down how this lock into patriotism, nationalism causes a blind loyalty and drive to some place where we don't completely understand where we're going, but we're just under people's leadership, and we're not understanding the certain things that are pulling us certain ways, that are indoctrinating us, that is using propaganda to push us a certain way. And this is where a lot of it starts. And I think I'm going to bring it back because a lot of what's going on right now definitely, once again, is still pertinent. No matter every time, no matter how much I try to see if I can move on to something else more now, as information is referenced to it, the more I keep looking back at that book and realizing it's still pertinent right to this day. So just dealing with that, and just dealing with my overall H will react, show, where it's very selective in its own way, where mainly what I'm doing is that I'm showing respect and admiration and celebration and honor to those other channels that I do respect. I don't do a reaction on everything, and what I'm saying, in any channel that speaks about a certain topic that I might be interested in, because usually the people that I do respect and that I connect to, they usually are speaking about the topics that I like to speak about anyway. So I like to, for them, I'm willing to do a react section. That if they're reacting to someone or something, and I'm reacting to them reacting, we might have a react section. But usually, if they're providing information and providing references and videos while giving their own situation to it, then I'll definitely I'll react to them, because because I definitely respect them in that way, and I definitely want to be able to come back, at a certain point before I head off to my night gig, and give you some examples and have some fun and show you some things. As even a video that I watched today, are Trump voters racist? And I really wanted to kind of give my reaction to that. So I'm definitely want to come back and have a little bit more fun, but seem like things have kind of, it seemed the schedule has kind of accelerated to a point where I need to get on my way. So what I at least wanted to do, and what I accomplished one part of, was giving my previews of the day and showing you once again that musical manipulation will be on its way, conspiracy theory will be on its way, and the Cooper Matrix will be on its way. as well as H will react, which I will try to get back to as soon as I can today, this evening. So I at least wanted to again come out and at least be completely open and vulnerable about why I do what I do. For one, I enjoy doing content. I do hope to make a living being a creative. I think I've realized one of the things that I want to do for sure is create a studio, a creative studio here in my city to where people can come in, rent at a low price, use the space, and to either create their podcast, either to film their podcast, film content, commercials, with whatever, either to get some post work done, some pre work done, things like that. I know that they can use that space where it's local and they can use quality equipment to get quality work done. I want to try to do that for them. I was kind of wondering what sort of way I can make more practical money, and that's where I think I can do that. I think that I could do a lot of great work on my MacBook. I do have the means to do that on my MacBook, but I think also to kind of create more of a business and more of a living for myself. I think I also want to start doing something that also does something that involves the community, to where they can come in there, like I said, for for low negotiable prices. They can rent the space, they can rent a space, they can use the equipment, and they can get help from us if they need it. That also, those fees are also negotiable if you want our help in doing pre-production work, post-production work, sound, sound work, effect work, what I'm saying, even any filming that you want us to help you out with, all of that type of thing. I think that's kind of where I want to go with this. And that's where I'm kind of going to start to move with this. Give myself a little space, start to load it up with equipment that I feel like would be great to, what I'm saying, to help film, camera, just the usual thing to make sure that someone has their space to, and then maybe even have a space for me to go into, to where, if I want to do more of a bigger production, have an interview where they want to do it in person and not do it on, and not do it like this, to where I can just give them the link and they can come on here. They want to do it more in person. They want to do more of that classic type of situation. I'll be glad to do it. So just kind of letting you know what's going back up, what's happening, and just being able to feel good about coming back out here. You know, yeah, I definitely see what, saying what the clearer viewpoints look like, and I definitely want to get there. I like, hey, it's messy. It looks how it looks, but I enjoy what I'm doing. It will get better. So I thank those of you. I thank the one and two people, the one still now, that decided to watch this and check this out with me to see what's going on for whatever reason that, or whatever motivation that you're doing it. Hey, thank you anyway. Either way, thank you. And I will definitely try to come back later on this evening as soon as possible to try to give some previews, have a little fun, just to kind of get myself back out here and do more and more content, get this stuff circulated, and get back to doing what I'm doing here while I still have the relevance, while I still have the energy and so forth to want to accomplish those things. So just keep looking out for me. Keep supporting independent media, real journalists, real journalism. Just keep supporting that. I'll keep fighting the good fight and try to do what I can do to be a big part of, the new wave of things that's happening out here. So again, appreciate all of those. And oh, by the way, I, the Troll Hunter. For those of you who may or may not have heard about that, that's still around. That's more on my personal page. But yeah, that the Troll Hunter is still around. I don't like trolls, never have, never will, and neither Kick, Twitch, or anything like that is going to make me like trolls. So that's kind of how I feel, and that's what'll be happening. And if the Troll Hunter needs to come out to kind of deal with a certain troll that I just feel like I've had enough of, eh, that's just what it'll be. So I'm just back out here to have fun, hopefully monetize, hopefully break some barriers and be able to monetize more in Virginia. and be able to do some things and show people that it can be done and figure out those ways that it can be done. So I'm just going to keep on fighting. This is Mainframe Multimedia. This is H Will Win. This is H Will React in this case. Be back as soon as I can. Thank you very much for those who have watched it. Thank you to those who will watch it in the future, hopefully. This is just a message, a preview that I'm going to be back out here doing things and going to be trying to do my best to stay consistent and get better and evolve and progress. So, thank you so much. Hopefully, I will see you very, very soon this evening before I go on my night gig. But thank you once again.